you've never been to my channel before, my name is Dr. E. I'm a board certified pediatrician. I'm also a new mom, and I love making informative and helpful videos here on YouTube. You can also find me on Instagram, where I share more of my daily life as a physician and a pediatrician. And then I'm also on TikTok. My username is the primary pediatrician on all platforms. Today we're going to talk about things that are safe to use for babies. What type of lotions and shampoos, what soap we should wash their bottles with. There's a lot of fear mongering by different companies saying that, their stuff is safe for babies and it doesn't have any of these harsh, dangerous things that other companies have. And so a lot of times this can trigger and really target families that are trying to do what's best for their children. And so I find it kind of icky when companies do that. And I just kind of wanted to set the record straight of what is things that are safe for babies. Now, just because something has baby put on it or, is in pastel colors and says baby doesn't mean that it's the best option for your child. And a lot of things that are not labeled for babies are super safe to use on your children. So let's take a step back and talk about newborns. So newborn skin is so sensitive, and I think that that's why a lot of people try to make sure that they're using the right products or making sure that they're fully stocked on certain baby items to make sure that their newborn sensitive skin is protected. If you think about it, babies are living inside fluid for 9 months and then they come out to this world, so their skin really hasn't been exposed to much. So it makes sense that their skin is really sensitive. Now, I'm not a dermatologist, I'm a pediatrician, but I do want to talk about some of those normal changes that we see in baby's skin over the first few weeks of life. Baby skin tends to get really dry, especially kind of at that day 6 or 7 mark. That's usually because they are kind of getting used to living in air instead of fluid, and some of their skin tends to kind of peel off or slough off in dry patches. That is completely normal, and it's not anything that you have to do anything about. This process is more common in babies who go past their due date or go right up until their due date because they've just been in the fluid longer. It's really common for your baby to get red rashes in the beginning, especially kind of where clothes have touched them or diapers have touched them. However, if you have a concern about a rash in your newborn, make sure that you talk with your pediatrician about it. So let's talk about how to know if something is safe for babies. So generally, your baby will need some type of cleanser to clean them. So that's like a soap or a shampoo. However, there's a lot of different options out there. So here's my recommendations on how to pick one. So the very first thing when picking a shampoo or a wash for your child or for your newborn baby is making sure that it's fragrance free. Usually when kids get to 1 to 2 years old, they can handle a little bit more of irritants. So this is mainly for those newborn babies. Make sure that your body wash or your soap or whatever it is fragrance free. There's so many washes out there that are marketed for babies. I see them all the time. A lot of times I just kind of walk in the baby aisles just to see what's out there, and they'll say baby right on them. They're light blue, light purple, whatever it is, and right on the back one of the ingredients is fragrance. Fragrance is an irritant. It can irritate even adult skin. So why use it in a baby? I never understand that. I guess if you want your baby to smell really good, but for the most part, avoid fragrance in really anything that you put on your baby. Can it irritate their skin? If your baby has really sensitive lungs, sometimes fragrance can even irritate their lungs. So all in all, avoid fragrance. Something that kind of goes along with fragrance is also dye. So make sure that whatever you use on your baby is also dye free. Besides that, another little hack for soap or shampoo is using a creamy, gentle cleanser, like a face wash. It doesn't have to be for babies. I'll put a couple up on the screen right here, but I think CeraVe has a really nice one that's nice and creamy and doesn't dry out baby's skin. So now that's the case with soap and body wash and shampoo. However, it's also true with detergents. So I always recommend families wash everything. So wash baby's clothes, baby's towels, mom and dad's clothes, mom and dad's towels, siblings' clothes with no fragrance, dye-free detergent. It's important that you wash your clothes with this too, because a lot of times babies are snuggling right up to us. And so if we have dye and fragrance on our detergent, it can irritate their skin, especially in really sensitive babies. I'll put a couple of my favorite detergents here on the screen. We use the unscented Molly's Suds and we love it. I use that every single day for everything in our house. I even use it for our dog stuff. So that's what we use. But really anything that's free and clear, no fragrance, is safe for your baby. Please don't fall into the trap of needing baby detergent or paying extra for something that's labeled as a baby. This is specifically marketing towards new parents and is kind of having that fear mongering saying our product doesn't have all of these things, when in reality, they are just trying to upprice something and sell it to you. Other thing that I think different marketing groups prey on new parents is using a bottle soap, or think there's like certain brand ones for, to wash bottles with. You don't need any of that. If you use hot soapy water to clean your baby's bottles, that is sufficient. This is kind of the one part where I would recommend using unscented soap. Dr. Bronner's has a good unscented soap that I usually recommend for families to wash bottles in. But this one, I don't think it's as important that it's unscented, because you completely wash it off of the bottle and it really never touches the baby's skin. You wash it all off, so it's not really being ingested. So I think if a soap has a fragrance, that's probably fine, a dish soap. But if you can find an unscented version, then that's pretty good as well. We talked about what shampoos are safe and what body washes are safe. Let's talk about what to use for lotions for your baby. So we're gonna follow the same general rules. So fragrance-free, dye-free. And then I also recommend families get a lotion that's actually in a tub. So something where the lid screws off. Now, my reasoning behind that is because these tend to be much thicker and more occlusive. So this is really good before bedtime. You can lather baby up in this cream and then put them in their jammies, zip them up, and that will really lock in the moisture to help with any dry skin that they may have. On top of having a lotion that is fragrance-free and dye-free, I also recommend having an ointment. So this is something like Vaseline. My personal favorite is CeraVe Healing Ointment. I'll put that on the screen here, but really any type of occlusive barrier works really well. It's good to use in diaper fold areas for your baby. This is good to use in the neck region, especially if your baby's drooling a lot or having lots of spit up. This will form a protective barrier. That way that spit up or that drool isn't irritating the skin. It's also good to use in the folds like under the arms and the armpits. You can also put them just kind of in the elbows, that antecubital fold or the elbow fold. So those are all really good places to put the healing ointment. It will cause less friction of that area and less irritation to the skin. I hope this was a helpful rundown of what to look for baby products. If you have specific questions about products or you want me to go into detail about anything, please leave them in the comments below. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok. My username is The Primary Pediatrician, and I will see you next Wednesday.